All right, always happy to be joined by Charlie Rymer, Golf Myrtle Beach, Play Golf Myrtle Beach, and Myrtle Beach Golf Ambassador. Charlie, good to see you. Haven't seen you since the Can-Am Cup, where Team America made that big comeback on the final day to take the hardware home. We're still licking our wounds over that one. That's my last time to the beach, but it's springtime. It's springtime in Myrtle Beach. It's springtime in South Carolina. I don't know if there's a better time for Canadians to get to Myrtle Beach then March, April, May. I mean, why not kick off your golf season now? I got to think the beach is perfect in the spring for Canadians to maybe dust off the clubs.
Well, it is, and locals like me, we get a chuckle out of seeing the Canadians, come down in January and February in your shorts and swimming in the ocean, and we're huddled up in our parkas, and so it's easy to see the Canadians in January and February. But this year's actually been remarkably warm, and we're getting a very early spring. The soil temperatures are up right now. The pollen is out a lot earlier. In fact, we've been able to see a lot of the pollen out in the ocean, which has been really unusual, especially for this time of year. But it really is a great time to come down. And the earlier you book your trip, the better deal you get. Of course, you can get that over at playgolfmyrtlebeach.com. But we love our Canadian friends, and the thing that's different about this year than some of the years in the past, we're wearing shorts with you because it's been that warm. It's been great.
Yeah, the weather down the eastern seaboard for the last several weeks been unbelievable. I'm here in Orlando working for PGA Tour Live and PGA Tour Radio, and to your point with the pollen, when I wake up in the morning, I didn't realize I had a yellow car, but apparently I have one now. So
Yeah, yeah. So those azaleas are going to be popping early at Augusta. So which is good news because all the pollen will be gone. But the ones that you do see at Augusta, they'll have been brought in from somewhere else because the ones that are normally there, they're going to be blooming very early spring, which is great news for golfers.
now speaking of Augusta, that's a great segue because I know a ton of Canadians. It's an annual tradition. I know many different trips from all different parts of Canada. The guys I know are Ontario and Quebec based, and they start their season every year with a Myrtle Beach golf trip the week of the
Mm.
Masters, and they kind of organize their tee time so they can play golf and then get in front of a TV and watch the Masters. And of course, Monday after the Masters has just been that's kind of become a huge tradition for the Myrtle Beach area.
Well, it really has, and not only Canadians, but I really think Masters Week is the start of the year for all golfers. Really, you hear the music, that Masters theme playing everywhere. It's really cool, and there are a ton of watch parties. And Myrtle Beach is a great place to come and play golf and be able to watch the Masters. But the Hooting the Blowfish Monday after the Masters, I've been very fortunate to be a part of every one of those except for two, I believe. And every year it's the largest single day fundraiser in the state of South Carolina. That's on Monday. But it's also actually an event that runs the 8th through the 10th of April. There's great music. If you're lucky enough to score a ticket to the concert at House of Blues on Monday night, it's an incredible concert. The events at the Barefoot Resort on Monday. We play the Die course, which is one of my favorite golf courses in all of Myrtle Beach, and it's always in great shape. It's just a great scene, and over the years, and we've had all kinds of stars, and from Arnold Palmer to Samuel L. Jackson, and unbelievable musicians. It really is an amazing event. And the guys in the band, I've got to be friendly with them over the years. They even though they're not touring anymore, they still take great pride in this event and get all their buddies coming in, and when Hootie gets together on the stage, I mean, even though Darius is out doing his thing, but when Hootie gets together on the stage, Mark, it's just something special. It's an incredible few days.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do that at one point. Work has always gotten in the way, but one of these years I'm going to get down for that for
Come
sure.
on.
It's a must. And it's not just the week of the Masters. I recently read that South Carolina, top golf destination in America, uh, top buddies trips for Myrtle Beach, top five in the world for golf, South Carolina recently. The accolades keep coming for the area. In your opinion, Charlie, like what is it? I mean, this is near and dear to your heart, so no one can really kind of express it better as to why it wins these accolades and why people keep going back. To me, that's the one thing about South Carolina and Myrtle Beach that I find really interesting that maybe a lot of other destinations don't have. There's so many great golf destinations around the world, but I don't know if there's one an area of America, especially that has the annual migration and the return trips and the return people of South Carolina. I think that kind of says a lot.
Yeah, it's South Carolina is a state population wise and geographically, it's not one of the our bigger states, but it comes up really big in the world of golf. Myrtle Beach, we call ourselves the golf capital of the world, and I think that we've earned that title. And seeing these recognitions roll in really sort of reinforces that. I'm a product of junior golf in the state of South Carolina. And if you look at what our residents have done in terms of winning major championships and putting South Carolina on the map, it really has been cool. You got the PGA Tour event at Hilton Head, which is since 1969. Has been a fixture on the PGA Tour, and we've got an event that's been played at Ridgeland now a few times. And there's actually rumors, and I don't have any inside track rumors, that a PGA Tour event is going to be coming to Myrtle Beach starting next year. But I think the key to the success, really, in particular, when you look at Myrtle Beach, is we've got tremendous hospitality. People want to go and spend time where they feel comfortable, and we're very welcoming in South Carolina. We've got some great dining, not necessarily New York City type fine dining, but the kind of dining like real people like me and you enjoy, and just that hospitality. And the other thing is, and you make a great point about when folks book to come to Myrtle Beach, they come back year after year. A few factors involved there. Number one, a lot of times instead of staying in a hotel when you are in your own room, folks will take houses. You can do beachfront houses, you can do golf course housing, and it's just sort of a real social environment. You can enjoy the music and the restaurants and everything out, but I like when I travel, I like to cook in a couple of times, and that's always a lot of fun. It's very social. And while we have our share of top 100 golf courses, big picture, if you look at what's going on in the world of golf, affordability is a very big factor as well. I mean, if you're putting together a trip, 12, 16, 24 people, you're going to have two or three people that can afford whatever you throw at them. But to get a little bit bigger trip, the cost has to be a little bit more reasonable. And that's something I'm very proud of. While, we have some golf courses and some places to stay that are less expensive, overall, you really get a tremendous amount of value when you come and spend 3 days or a week in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And that's something that really makes me proud, because like you, I'm somebody that loves people getting out and playing golf. And one of the things, that's a big factor there is affordability. And we definitely have that in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, it's a good point, Charlie, in the sense that, although there's different, courses at different price points, you never get to any of them and not think this is great bang for the buck. And, in other words, this one might be a little bit more expensive than that one, but you never feel like you're being overcharged, or you never feel like you're not paying an appropriate number for the value of the property you're playing. Like we felt that all
Right.
last October. We got to play some great courses, obviously, for the Can-Am Cup. One of my favorites, Caledonia Golf and Fish Club down in the South End, and that's a good lead in there as well. Before we let you go, I know there's been some upgrades. There's always courses like reinvesting back into their property. I hear there's a couple down in the South End. Who's done some renovations lately? What's been done to courses that maybe are some of the favorites that players haven't seen in quite some time, and there's a reason to go back and play them again?
Yeah, one of the great things about really the pandemic inspired reintroduction of golf to the world and more people playing is if you're an operator of a golf course or multiple golf courses, because we have more people playing, you feel very secure in investing in your product. And a lot of people don't realize the golf course is a lot like a fine automobile. At 100,000 miles, you got to change the belts and hoses, and that's an expensive process. You look at the lifespan of greens, of irrigation systems, of wear and tear on clubhouses, and in certain intervals, you've got to invest in your property. For a while, that was difficult because golf business wasn't as good. Well, with golf business booming, that confidence has led to reinvestment, and we're really seeing it in a big way. A lot of properties up and down Myrtle Beach have done that, but one in particular, Paulie's Plantation, which is Paulie's Island. It's a Jack Nicklaus design golf course. It's an absolutely magnificent piece of property, and some of the stuff that gets on the backside that has marsh views not too far off the ocean, just wonderful. But they're investing heavily and a lot of money in the clubhouse, sort of reimagining what the golf experience is. And one of the issues they had over years, and you see it sometimes when you go to a golf course, you'll see a lot of distance between the edge of the greens and the bunkers. Well, Bermuda in particular, is aggressive, and the fairway Bermuda will grow into the greens, and all of a sudden, what was intended to be 2 or 3 feet is 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, 8 feet. So you have to come in and reclaim the space on your greens, rework your bunkers. Irrigation is something that's an issue. Cart paths, they're addressing all of those issues at Paulie's Plantation, and it's really going to put an amazing shine on a golf course that I think is due for all of those improvements. And when people see it, they're going to really appreciate the investment there.
Oh, I mean, the South End's so much fun. There's so many different little pockets of Myrtle Beach that are awesome. And I love Polly's Plantation down in the South. And I just mentioned Caledonia and, of course, True Blue. They're all kind of down that way. You could put together a great 3, 4 days, 5 days, and never leave the South if you don't want to, and just have a little bit more kind of
Yep.
quiet Southern experience. And then, hey, if you want that party and you want that fun along the beach, you can move your way north and get all the action if you want it. So, Charlie, thanks so much for taking time to do this. We're going to catch up with you again on the other side of spring and see what's on the plan for the beach for the summer. You take care. You enjoy the spring. I know that's not hard to do when you call South Carolina,
I know.
South Carolina home. So thanks so much for taking the time.
Appreciate it, Mark. Safe travels out there. I know you're the busiest man in golf right now. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Charlie.